9.2 Traffic Characteristics. 9.2.1 The Traffic Characteristics. This table shows three types of traffic. They are the voice, video, and the data. They have different characteristics when they travel in a medium. In terms of bandwidth, the voice is the one with the low moderate, because voice usually is pretty small, however, is pretty sensitive in terms of delay. If one person is talking and they constantly get data loss, the voice being lost, so the other side of the line cannot hear or understand the conversation. So it has very low tolerance for delay, very sensitive to delay, also very sensitive to jitter, is sensitive to packet loss. For video, it usually pretty large. It's a large file, so it requires higher bandwidth. And in terms of delay, is sensitive, however, is not as sensitive of voice. If a few frames being lost or being delayed, usually it's not a big deal. We still can watch the video or understand the meaning of the video. It's sensitive to jitter, also sensitive to packet loss. For the data traffic, the bandwidth varies, depends on what kind of data. Is that a zip file or just a text document being downloaded from internet? So the bandwidth varies. The delay usually less sensitive. If the internet speed is not too good, not too smooth, certain data being delayed is not a problem because later they can be downloaded. And the jitter usually also less sensitive. However, if it's data loss, that's a big deal. Because if, for example, a zip file missing certain bits or certain one is downloaded, it just won't work. The file is crashed, so it cannot be even opened. In a previous topic, you learn about the network transmission quality. In this topic, you will learn about traffic characteristics, including voice, video, and data. In the early 2000s, the predominant type of IP traffic were voice and data. Voice traffic has a predictable bandwidth need and known packet arrival times. Data traffic is now real-time and has unpredictable bandwidth need. Data traffic can temporarily burst as when a large file is being downloaded. This bursting can consume the entire bandwidth of a link. More recently, video traffic has become increasingly important to business communication and operations. Consider that organizations now commonly use video conferencing to meet with the users and the clients. High-definition video surveillance to remotely monitor facilities and equipment, and video streaming for a variety of purposes, including trainings. According to the Cisco Virtual Network Index, the VNI, by 2022, video will represent 22% of all internet traffic. In addition, mobile video traffic will reach 60.9 exabyte per month by 2022. Voice traffic is predictable and smooth, as shown in the figure. However, voice is very sensitive to delay and dropped packets. It makes no sense to retransmit voice if packets are lost. Therefore, voice packets must receive a higher priority than other types of traffic. For example, Cisco products use the RTP port range 16,384 to 32,767 to prioritize voice traffic. Voice can tolerate certain amount of latency, jitter, and loss without any notable effects. Latency should be no more than 150 milliseconds. Jitter should be no more than 30 milliseconds. And the voice packet loss should be no more than 1%. Voice traffic requires at least 10 gigabits per second of bandwidth. This table gives a summary of voice traffic characteristics and requirements. So for the voice traffic characteristics, should be smooth, benign, drop sensitive, delay sensitive, and UDP priority. Without QoS and a significant amount of extra bandwidth capacity, video quality typically degrades. The picture appears blurry, jagged, or in slow motion. The audio portion of the feed may become unsynchronized with the video. Video traffic tends to be unpredictable, inconsistent, and bursty compared to voice traffic. Compared to voice, video is less resilient to loss and has a higher volume of data per packet. Notice in the figure below how voice packets arrive every 20 milliseconds and are a predictable 200 bytes each. In contrast, the number and the size of video packets varies every 33 milliseconds, based on the content of the video, as shown in the figure. For example, if the video stream consists of content that's not changing much from frame to frame, then the video packets will be small, and fewer are required to maintain acceptable user experience. However, if the video stream consists of content that's rapidly changing, such as an action sequence in a movie, then the video packets will be larger. More are required per 33 milliseconds time slot to maintain an acceptable user experience. This table shows the video traffic characteristics. So it's bursty. In order to have a relatively smooth video, the latency should be less than 200 to 400 milliseconds. It's greedy, which consumes lots of bandwidth. In order to prevent jitter, that should be less than 30 to 50 milliseconds. Drop sensitive, it doesn't have tolerance for data drops or frame drops. Also delay sensitive. If the delay is too much, that affects the user experience. Also the UDP priority. Most applications use either TCP or UDP. Unlike UDP, TCP performs error recovery. Data applications that have no tolerance for data loss, such as email or web pages, use TCP to ensure that if packets are lost in transit, they will be resent. Data traffic can be smooth or bursty. Network control traffic is usually smooth and predictable. When there's a topology change, the network control traffic may burst for a few seconds. But the capacity of today's network can easily handle the increasing network control traffic as the network converges. Some TCP applications can consume a large portion of network capacity. FTP can consume as much as bandwidth as it can get when you download a large file, such as a movie or a game. This table summarizes data traffic characteristics. Smooth and bursty, benign and greedy. It is drop insensitive and delay insensitive, and TCP can retransmit. Although data traffic is relatively insensitive to drops and delays compared to video and voice, a network administrator still needs to consider the quality of the user experience, sometimes referred to as quality of experience or QoE. There are two main factors that a network administrator needs to ask, like, does the data come from an interactive application? And is the data mission critical? There are factors to consider for data delay. One is the interactive. If the mission is critical, So it prioritizes for the lowest delay of all data traffic and strive for a 1 to 2 seconds responsive time. If it's not mission critical, applications could benefit from lower delay. And another factor is not interactive. If it's mission critical, delay can vary greatly as long as the necessary minimum bandwidth is supplied. If it's not mission critical, gets a leftover bandwidth after all voice, video, and other data application needs are met.